All right, so we have with us Blaze. Hi, Michelle, Mobin. Can you guys talk and hear me?
Yes, I could hear you. How are you doing today?
Great, great. How are you?
Doing good, thank you.
Are we waiting for anyone else from your team?
Um, no, I think all of our team members are here.
And have I unmuted everyone from your team? Can you double check?
Yeah, hi. I'm unmuted, so yeah, fine.
Awesome, guys.
Yeah. Well,
All right, so I think we can get this going. Thank you for joining us today. We're really honored to have Metablaze team with us in our in this AMA, and just to give you a bit of how this works, usually, guys, is that we have two phases. In the first phase, I have a few questions for you to learn more about your project, and in the second phase, we'll be selecting a couple of participants to ask some questions, and we'll be giving away the prizes, which is $50 per question for the two questions that we'll be selecting. So shall we start with a round of intros so we get to know everyone that is with us?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Blaze. I'm the COO of Metablaze. I kind of work in managing the day-to-day operations. I also help out in marketing. I personally spend a lot of time communicating with community members, really focusing on trying to, build relationships with community members on a more personable level. Something, about Metablaze is that we really try to, offer constant community support and always interact with community members. So that's a part of what I do day to day. My experience has been I've been an entrepreneur and a business owner for the last 14 years. I have owned and operated a business that was founded in California and is now a multi-state company. I am in the cannabis industry, in the legal recreational cannabis market. I started a company as the sole operator and employee, and within several years, I grew that company and workforce to over 100 employees and have been generating over $20 million a year in revenue for several years. And my experience is really lies in business management, operations, scaling businesses. My company now in the cannabis space is a vertically integrated company. And I feel that my experience in an industry such as that really helps me in the cryptocurrency industry, as there are quite some similarities in terms of the cannabis space also being kind of a gray area industry, as is the cryptocurrency space. So my experience in operating, managing, and marketing companies within that world really helps me today in terms of growing Metablaze. I'll pass it off to Mobeen, our CMO.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mobin, and as the CMO here at Metablaze, I oversee all the marketing activities for the company with Blaze. My background is mostly involved in entrepreneurship, so I have been mostly responsible for a number of companies, and for over a decade, I've worked in the marketing and customer service sectors, as well as setting up and selling a number of e-commerce businesses. So I'm an all-rounder. I consider myself as an all-rounder, and I'll pass it over to our CEO, Michelle.
Hi, my name is Michelle, and I am the CEO of Metablaze. I have quite a few years of experience in corporate information technology, starting as a programmer and then working as a systems analyst, business analyst, and then ended up managing project manager for several multi-million-dollar projects. I also spent a little bit of time working for Pricewaterhouse as a management consultant and did some private work as well before opening my own business. So I definitely have the entrepreneurial spirit here, as I have been operating, running my own business for the past 15 years. I also do a lot of work one-on-one with our community. Get a lot of questions. We DM, we talk back and forth. I've gotten to know a lot of these people, I think, very well, and it's very important, and it's kind of honoring and humbling to know that they will reach out and talk to us just one-on-one as real people, and we can provide those answers. Looks like next on our list is Jae-hoon.
Hello everyone, my name is Jalen. I am the CTO of the Blaze company. I have background with the game development and programming. I have a lot of experience with the various programming languages, as well as Solidity and Python, Java, etc. And that's it. Is Torval here? No. Okay.
So I think that's everyone, and nice to meet you all. I must say, really impressive backgrounds from all of you, and I'd like to know the story on how you came together and started Metablaze.
Yeah, sure. So, we're all cryptocurrency investors, and, we essentially created a group a while ago of basically a private investor group that we kind of work together in making investments into different cryptocurrencies, kind of like a miniature whale group, I guess. And we kind of, just really work together in making those investments into certain projects. And Metablaze just kind of organically evolved. We all have an obvious passion for cryptocurrency. We all have the necessary business experience, and we moved forward in creating something within the crypto space that we would love to be a part of. And that is how really Metablaze fruition. We wanted to build something that we thought we would love to be a part of, and in turn, offer that to the community. And we really emphasized the transparency and commitment to, forming personable relationships with community members and going above and beyond in terms of actually providing a real high level of customer service to, investors of Metablaze. Similar to that of the hospitality industry, we really wanted to connect with people and offer that high level community service, community support, and, really build a great community. And that's why we put Metablaze together the way we have. That's why our ecosystem is designed the way it is to really bring something to the crypto space that we would personally love to be a part of, and to really offer that next level customer service to, all of cryptocurrency investors, and really focus on building a great community.
Wow, that's amazing. So could you tell us what is Metablaze for our community here?
Yes, sure. So Metablaze is a blockchain gaming company, and our biggest value proposition is the development of an immersive 3D play to earn role playing game. It's a fantasy themed game similar to World of Warcraft. The Metablaze token is a multi-chain deflationary token. It is also a rewards-based token, which means by holding Metablaze, owners or holders are rewarded passively in two forms of passive income, and those cryptocurrencies that are issued to holders as a form of passive income is BUSD, which is Binance's stablecoin, as well as Metablaze token. The BUSD is our rewards mechanism, and holders earn more Metablaze tokens through our Metaflexions mechanism. I did mention that Metablaze token is multi-chain. We are initially built on the Binance Smart Chain and will shortly be releasing the ERC20 version of Metablaze token, which is built on the Ethereum blockchain, and listing that on Uniswap shortly after we list the BSC version on PancakeSwap. Now, while I mentioned that, our primary value proposition is in the development of the play to earn game, what really differentiates Metablaze here is the fact that we have pretty much a one-of-a-kind ecosystem that's really synergistic in terms of the ecosystem was designed for the multitude of features in which we offer to really all work together. And they work together to serve as a catalyst to, propel the growth of the Metablaze economy as a whole. And when I say catalyst, I mean, it's kind of like, supercharging our ecosystem to make things grow faster, to be more effective, to be more efficient, all things of that nature. And within our ecosystem, it's really thoughtfully designed to appeal to gamers, but important, it's also appealing to non-gamers as well. And we kind of created this concept. So in reality, it really creates, it combines ingredients to create a really good recipe to maximize the long-term growth by having features that appeal to a broader demographic of cryptocurrency investors. While some people might be interested in investing into blockchain gaming projects, other people might not be interested in gaming. So we incorporated other facets into our ecosystem that could appeal to those people as well. And some of those other features that we offer, we'll be launching with our Blaze app, which is a decentralized application, which will serve as the central hub to our ecosystem. You could kind of consider it as the heartbeat of the Metablaze ecosystem. The majority of our features, ecosystem features, will be accessible through the Blaze app. One of those features is in real time, you could track your reward earnings. There is a digital asset storage vault for you to store your digital assets in. We will have the NFT marketplace within the Blaze app. There will be ecosystem-specific NFTs. The ecosystem-specific NFTs are not something that's tradable on OpenSea. That will be, within our 10,000 collection, our 10,000 piece NFT collections that can be traded, bought, and sold on OpenSea. We'll have what's called the Blazeverse accessible through our DApp, and that's essentially an interactive game that users can use their NFTs. We have farming grounds that's called the Blazelands, where people can take their NFTs that they buy and put them to work in the farming grounds, essentially staking their NFTs, and those NFTs will generate returns on a weekly basis or however the holder wants to, collect their earnings. It could be weekly, it could be monthly. That's up to them to set it up and decide how they want to, receive their earnings. Along with that, we will have the Blaze Swap, which will enable holders to, instead of receiving BUSD as their reward, we enable holders to swap that BUSD reward for any other token that exists on a Binance Smart Chain. So it was really a thoughtful thing that we did in terms of giving holders the ability to have more control over their money and maybe somebody doesn't want, to be rewarded in BUSD. Maybe they want to be rewarded in SafeMoon, and they can do that. That's up to them. We give everybody that option. And our big P2E game that is being developed will also be accessible in the Blaze app. And this game will incorporate concepts like virtual real estate, and owning property within that game. It's part of the in-game strategy to advance in the game. It's not necessary to advance, but it can optimize one strategy to, do better than others within the game. But it also opens the door for people who might not be interested in gaming to have, a piece of equity within that game and to own that property within that game. And the volume of gamers within the gaming metaverse can really drive up the property value pricing, or value. So, that is another piece that really ties in the non-gamers to really, bring them, to get them involved in the game by property ownership. And I think for the most part, that pretty much covers what Metablaze is, and what we offer. I think one very important thing that I did miss was the Blaze Chain blockchain, which is something that we're developing. It is designed for metaverse specific utilities. There is something that is needed in today's metaverse world that does not currently exist in terms of assets and moving those assets around within different metaverse worlds. And that's something that we're focusing on bringing a solution to. And the Blaze Chain blockchain will also really optimize the user experience within our gaming metaverse by really minimizing any types of transaction fees for holders of our token or digital assets, whether it be NFTs or in-game assets. We can really minimize those costs. And by having our own blockchain and by there being transactional fees generated, that provides one additional source of revenue to the Metablaze economy as a whole. And in the way we've structured our ecosystem, not only is it designed to really provide a tremendous amount of value to holders, but it's also designed to provide continuous revenue to the Metablaze economy, which in turn will ultimately help in maximizing the token value. And most importantly, it builds the necessary foundation for scalability and for long-term sustainability, right? It's important for any cryptocurrency project that exists to really formulate a plan that could support being sustainable. We're not here to just be around for a year or two. We're designing Metablaze. We built it in a way that is designed to last for the long term. And that's why our ecosystem, we consider and we find it to be one of a kind. It's almost a vertically integrated cryptocurrency ecosystem. Everything that we need is within our own ecosystem, and we will continue to scale that as we progress and, offer more use cases to the community as time goes on.
Wow, I must say that is quite a vision there. And you touched on quite a few points. I mean, you're building a whole ecosystem, but if I got this right, you're starting out as a gaming company, and that would be the foundation on building upon that. Is that right?
Correct. I mean, Metablaze, we are an actual company. We're not just a cryptocurrency project, and we are a gaming company that's incorporating a cryptocurrency token within within the blockchain game, and we've thus created an entire ecosystem surrounding the entire business model in and of itself.
Got it. And you're starting out with RPG game. What stage is the game on? I saw some videos on your website. It looks the graphic look really impressive. So could you tell us about the game and the stage that is at right now?
So initially we'll be launching.
All right.
Jason, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So we are currently working on the physics part and asset making and overall story part of the game, and of course as well as concepting of the characters and the environments. Game will be on the alpha on the next year, so we have 1 year of the development ahead, and we will of course share all the updates, all the graphics inside the game through the way as we're developing the game.
Got it. Thank you, Jae-hoon. And could you tell us more about the story of the game? Is it a fantasy?
Yeah, sure. So it's a fantasy themed game. It's similar to World of Warcraft, and we have the fantasy themed characters such as goblins, dwarves, elves, gnomes, which will be incorporating more new characters within different seasons. But something unique that we've done to really differentiate ourselves in terms of the fantasy themed gaming is we really looked at, today's current technological advances and where we're at right now, right? We have blockchain technology. We have cryptocurrency to where I could send a payment to somebody across the world and they can receive it person to person within a minute. There's all these new technological advances. We have the metaverse. We have all this crazy stuff coming out, right? So we thought, how could we really tie a fantasy themed game into this new era of blockchain technology? And that's when we decided to really, take the traditional fantasy themed type characters, story base, and tie that into a more futuristic approach. So you can expect to see some of our character bases are the traditional types of goblins or orcs or things of that nature. While on the contrary, there's a different generation of those characters that are more futuristically advanced. Some might have bionic body parts. Some might have laser beam eyes. There's all these different attributes that, these characters are equipped with that really kind of tie in the whole metaverse with a fantasy themed play to earn game. And we find that it's really helpful ultimately in, differentiating us from competition, right? Because something that's always important to any brand or company is the brand differentiator. What is that? What's the brand differentiator? And for us, alongside with the high level in-game graphics that people will soon see for blockchain games, aside from that, what really differentiates Metablaze and makes us stand out is what I just mentioned, by tying in the traditional fantasy themed gaming concept with this futuristic metaverse approach. And we'll be releasing our upcoming collection of Meta Goblin NFTs on May 8th. And people will definitely begin to start seeing how, we're really tying in this futuristic component into a traditional fantasy themed concept. And we're really excited for everybody to get to see that.
Yeah, sounds really exciting. And I think you're right. I mean, looking at how big the gaming industry is these days, I think blockchain would offer tremendous advantages there. So I can definitely see why you choose to get into that market with a game. I mean, even if you're looking at artificial intelligence, it was the gaming industry that evolved the GPUs to bring all these kind of advantages into the market. I see Doug Krul joined just now and wanted to speak earlier. We didn't have a chance to get to know you, Doug Krul, if I pronounce your name right.
Hello there. Yeah, you pronounced right. Sorry, I was a bit late. I couldn't get a chance to introduce myself. So my name is Togrul. I'm a CTO and software developer of the Metablaze. I just wanted to give a quick brief about my background. I have 8 years of the experience in software development and also 2 years in blockchain technologies. Glad to be here today with you. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Yeah, so I wanted to follow up. I know in in the space, we're looking at a lot at reward tokens lately, and you seem to incorporate that into your tokenomics already. So would you care to explain to us how can our users buy your token first and how they can start earning rewards?
Yeah, sure. So right now we're actually in our second phase of pre-sale. Our first phase of pre-sale opened on February 22nd last month, and we reached a hard.
Hello, I'll take over there. Blaze's voice probably gave out a little bit. You can our users can go to our website at www.metablazetoken.com. I'll type that into the chat in just a moment. And from there, there is a button there that says buy presale or buy presale tokens, and we have a guide there for you. It is how to buy Metablaze tokens. You can use any wallet that you want to make your purchase. Our three choices for types of coins that you can use to buy are BNB, but you have to use the BEP2 network, the BEP2 network, which is the main net. You cannot send Smart Chain if you're sending BNB. So that kind of eliminates MetaMask from a choice from a sending wallet. You can also use Ether, and you can use Bitcoin. So we've got those three choices out there for people to be able to purchase. One of the things that when you do sign up for or register for an account on our site, you will be asked to enter your receiving wallet address, because right now we're in pre-sale, so therefore we're not sending the actual tokens out to your wallets. That will come when we launch. So for right now, our launch pad is just simply a placeholder or a place where you can see how many tokens that you've got at all times and kind of keep track of that. So other than that, to purchase the tokens are pretty simple. We have an API that links us to coinpayments.net. Coinpayments has been an absolute dream for us because the transactions go through very quickly. We don't have to have any manual intervention in that, and approximately 10 to 15 minutes after you make your purchase and you send the funds in, the tokens will appear in your account. If there's any other questions from the group about that, we absolutely have people sending us DMs and getting more information, or if they don't understand something, and we walk them right through it.
Perfect. Thank you, Michelle. And I've also given you access to post links in the group chat. So if anyone wants to find your website, you're free to post it for now, because I'm sure a lot of people will just want to explore and have more questions on that one. And could you tell us about any kind of taxes or fees that come to buying or selling or trading or your tokens that our investors should be aware of?
Yeah, sure. So we have a buy and sell transaction tax. That is primarily how the rewards and reflections are funded is through tax generation. Aside from that, portions of that tax revenue goes into the marketing wallet, into the development wallet. That is how we continue to progress in development, as well as continue to scale marketing. The buy tax is 10%, and the sell tax is 15%. And again, this is, what will ultimately fund, holders' passive income, by way of reflections and rewards, as I mentioned earlier, that come in the form natively of BUSD and Metablaze token. And again, just to reiterate, holders receive the BUSD as a reward. They could jump into our DApp, and instead of receiving the BUSD, they can select any other token that exists on Binance Smart Chain as the reward instead of BUSD, which is kind of cool because, you could really select another coin or token that also issues reflections and rewards. So it's kind of a way to where a user, if they spend enough time, researching and kind of planning this, you could really create a network of, it's almost like a domino effect of compounding rewards and reflections by, being, by strategically selecting which tokens you want to receive your rewards in. So that's something unique that we think really gives holders, an extra advantage in optimizing their passive earnings. And that's something that we're really focused on, is alongside with, really driving up the price or the value of the Metablaze token. We want to give holders constant passive earnings. We want you guys to have income all the time. Your big holdings within Metablaze token, that's for the long term, right? Like if you participate and you do your own research into Metablaze and you see the value in what we're building here, and if you really understand, the ability to be a long-term project, most investors would want to hold long-term. Considering if you look at Axie Infinity and look at where they started in terms of token price or coin price and where they are at now, it's quite an impressive feat. In the interim, holders will be able to consistently generate passive income, not only through our rewards and reflections mechanism, but by also utilizing our farming grounds, by also, participating in the Blazeverse, which is all accessible through the DApp. So, we've really created this ecosystem that can continuously holders with passive income on a weekly basis.
Wow, that's very good to know. And
I think I may have lost you there. I cannot hear you.
no,
I can hear you now.
All right, perfect. Yes. So I'll repeat my question. So what I wanted to ask, and what most investors are thinking these days, is how are you going to handle marketing, especially in a space so competitive as gaming, where you're competing against your users' attentions against other games, I guess. So we would love to know your plans on making this popular and bringing more users into the DApp, into the game, into the metaverse eventually.
Yeah, sure. So, we're really focusing on written content, and written content is comprised of, pushing out sponsored articles, project reviews. We were actually just, we had a project review done by beincrypto.com, which is one of the biggest news media crypto websites in existence. We also just had an analysis and price prediction done by Portal Crypto. We're focusing heavily on written content as well as display content. We're currently running banner ads on big websites such as CoinGecko. And, we've recently started a campaign with YouTube influencers, and we're now moving in with Twitter influencers. We're really, week over week, we're scaling things up in terms of marketing, and it will be a continuous and ongoing effort. As we progress, we will be working with much, much larger influencers. To drop a name, somebody that we're in talks with now is BitBoy Crypto, who has a very massive platform. Influencers like that are very expensive to work with. To give you an example, BitBoy Crypto is $75,000 for one 15-minute video. Would it be responsible and cost effective for us to do that right at this moment? Probably not. There is a better time to do that, and that would be, once we get closer to launch, to really build up an immense amount of momentum right before we list on PancakeSwap, to really pump up that post-listing trading volume, right? That's an essential piece to launching a cryptocurrency coin. You don't want to launch and list on PancakeSwap and your trading volume isn't even, it's a couple $100,000. That's definitely not what we're aiming to do. We do have some big plans in terms of, marketing efforts just prior to listing on PancakeSwap. And, overall, we'll be leveraging everything that we can in terms of marketing, such as, working with you guys like Coinscope, like, we're on your promoted coin section. We're also on promoted coin sections with other websites. And a big part of what we really aim to do is to really nurture a very strong community. I think everybody has seen the power that a community can have in terms of a cryptocurrency coin. Like, you see the SafeMoon army, you see the Doge army, you see the Shiba army. Those coins have had tremendous success. And a big part of that has to do, like Shiba Inu and Dogecoin, it's all about the community. Granted, Elon Musk might have helped a little bit with Dogecoin, but community is essential to the growth of any project. And we're really putting a lot of personal time and effort into, nurturing a very positive community and building something where people feel like they're not just an investor. We want people to feel like, I don't mean to sound corny, but we want people to feel like they're family with Metablaze, and we want people to feel comfortable, and we want people to believe in the project, and we want people to share the same vision that we have. And if we band together, the community could have a tremendous impact on the overall success and growth of the project. That's not something we are relying on, but that is definitely an attribute that we are looking to build and consistently gain momentum in, as in the long term, that will have a massive effect. Word of mouth marketing, right, is always one of the best forms of marketing. It's been around since before marketing was ever even an industry. And the marketing efforts on our behalf will, be continuous and will continue to scale up, leveraging everything available to us at this time in terms of marketing a cryptocurrency company and or project.
Thank you. Yes, word of mouth is basically the foundation of viral marketing, if you can consider that a strategy. But I think you're spot on there, and you're definitely building a huge brand by all these influencers, even if, as you say, it might be responsible now, but long term, it will pay off. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, certainly. And something else that we also take notice to in terms of influencers, like I mentioned earlier, my primary industry that I've been involved in for the past 14 years is in the cannabis space. And we've worked with some of the biggest celebrities that are in existence, from music celebrities to movie celebrities, in helping with promotions, which has really drastically made our cannabis brand's name known across the world. But when it comes to cryptocurrency, it's a little bit different, because something that I've noticed through doing a tremendous amount of research and looking at data and analytics is what happens after a lot of cryptocurrency projects really pump social media marketing. Influencer social media marketing. What I tend to see is pump and dumps, right? You get huge influencers to promote a cryptocurrency. It drives in this immense amount of trading volume, followed by an immense sell-off within a couple of days. And it's not something that's sustainable. And while it can be great in generating awareness, I think overall in the long term, it can be damaging to the project because of those types of pump and dumps. Like SafeMoon, for example, is one that did that. And unfortunately now there's a class action lawsuit against SafeMoon for doing whatever it is that they did, in terms of, it looked like a pre-orchestrated, pump and dump kind of scheme using influencers to where, the team behind SafeMoon really benefited from that personally. And that's why we're approaching social media influencer marketing with extreme caution, and we're doing our due diligence before we commit to those types of marketing efforts. But yeah, you're right. The word of mouth is definitely a huge piece of what we're doing. And, in order for word of mouth marketing to become effective, you need one primary thing before that becomes effective, and that is trust. And that right now, we're building those foundations. We're building that level of trust within our community. We're showing our integrity, the fact that we will continue doing the right thing even when no one's looking. That is our, primary main tenets are honesty and transparency and doing things in a way that, is the right way to do it. And, Rome wasn't built in a day, and to build something great is going to take time. And when it comes to building trust with the community, it takes time, and that's what we're doing now, is really focusing on building and nurturing that level of trust so our community members believe in the project enough to, for that word of mouth marketing to really scale. Without trust, that word of mouth marketing is very limited.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And it sounds like you've done your research. I'm happy to hear that you've taken all this into consideration, and it's definitely good to see that there is a massive plan behind that. So our community and our investors can just feel safe in investing in such a long-term project.
Yeah, and since we're on that topic of discussing trust and believing in the project, I just want to make mention it is important that Metablaze is currently in audit with CertiK. Our Binance Smart Chain smart contract is currently being audited. Our ERC20 version will also be audited by CertiK, as well as our DApp smart contract will be audited by CertiK. Our team, our core founding team that's here with you guys today, we have all undergone KYC with CertiK, which was an additional package that we purchased alongside with the audits, as well as a fairly new service offered by CertiK called Skynet Monitoring. And our smart contracts will be Skynet monitoring enabled, which is essentially a 24-hour a day, 7-day a week monitoring service of our smart contract in real time. So if any funny business goes on with our smart contracts, there are real-time notifications sent to CertiK that are then made public via CertiK's website, CertiK's Twitter, CertiK's every platform from CertiK. And that's an additional layer of security that we opted to purchase as well, to really ramp up our security and to help build confidence from an investor standpoint moving forward. And, that's why we did the smart contract audit, we did the KYC, and we got the Skynet monitoring service all through CertiK.
Yeah, good to know. And I know it's another big investment from you guys. So it's definitely helpful for our investors to know. So I'd love to continue on with my questions, but I know our audience wants their chance to ask a few questions. So with that said, I'm going to open up to the questions from the audience. So Blaze, do you want to pick someone from the audience that have raised their hands to ask a question?
Sure. I'm looking through now. Let's go with Arctic Monkeys. I'm going to unmute you. I'm going to click on you now.
So Arctic Monkeys, you can now talk and ask your question.
Hello, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, we can hear you.
Metablaze is, so my question is, Metablaze is an excellent way to take your cryptocurrency even feature by providing two types of passive income. Can you talk about these two passive income methods and how to get started? What should we do as investor? Thank you.
So I had a little bit of trouble understanding, but I think you were asking about the passive income, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's what I got as well.
Okay, so I spoke on that earlier. The passive income is essentially by holding Metablaze tokens, holders are automatically rewarded in two forms of cryptocurrency. And those two forms of cryptocurrency are BUSD and Metablaze token. And those rewards and or form of passive income earnings is funded by the buy and sell taxes. Alongside, those that passive income stream comes, the ability to to leverage your NFTs and put them to work in our farming grounds. You could stake your NFTs and continue to grow your passive earnings. You'll be able to use certain NFTs to boost your earnings within our Blazed app. You'll also be able to stake your tokens for earnings as well. So, there's this multitude of different forms, different ways to where holders can, optimize their passive income. And in addition to that, down the road by next year, we'll be incorporating the virtual real estate, which could also be a way to through renting. You could rent out your properties and you could have another stream of passive income as well. So we really focused on building almost like a spider web. It's like a spider web of rewards and passive income earnings, that over time, that spider web will continue to spin and that web will get bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's ultimately how our passive income earning specific ecosystem was essentially structured, was for you guys, the holders, to continue growing that. There is no cap in terms of your passive income earnings. And it's up to the holder to devise their strategy on how they're going to optimize those passive reward earnings. So it's essential in knowing what you're doing. If you're not too familiar with how to really optimize a strategic approach, to maximize your passive income earnings, you could definitely reach out to us in our Telegram group. You could even speak with us privately in private DM, and we can kind of guide you and help you out a little bit and give you some tips on ways to really maximize, your earnings within our ecosystem.
All right, thank you for that. Let me pick one as well. So we get one and one. Duck001, you're now unmuted and you can ask your question. Can you hear us? Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello, sir.
Hi. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. My question. Metablaze is a blockchain-based gaming company merging elements of both GameFi and DeFi. How will Metablaze combine and create a synergetic ecosystem for the two elements, GameFi and DeFi?
Yeah, sure. So, we're really taking key components or key elements of the DeFi ecosystem and really embedding those ecosystem features within our personal ecosystem, and really combining those features with GameFi. And our thought process in doing so is to really appeal to a wider user base than just those who might only be interested in gaming. We did not want to limit ourselves in terms of that. We wanted to open up the doors to people who, might be interested in other things besides gaming. And that's why we really focused on, incorporating these other DeFi specific ecosystem features into the Metablaze ecosystem and really developing an ecosystem that is almost, like I mentioned earlier, it's similar to, it's like building a vertically integrated ecosystem. And in doing so, it's essentially like taking different ingredients and combining them to make something new. And that's really what we did. By taking these different elements from, both categories within the cryptocurrency space, GameFi and DeFi, they are indeed two separate categories, and really merging them together on a deep level, ultimately to, enable Metablaze to maximize the growth. Like I mentioned, we want to appeal to more than just gamers. Granted, the gaming industry is huge. In-game asset purchases in 2021, I think we're right around $3 billion just for in-game asset purchases. That's not people buying games to play. That's just people buying in-game assets, whether that's skins or weapons or whatever. You're talking $3 billion just on those in-game asset purchases. It goes without saying the gaming industry is absolutely massive. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, right now it is about a $300 billion per year industry. There are projections for, the gaming industry to become a $500 billion a year industry by 2025, which is, in reality, it's really just around the corner. Unfortunately, time is flying by. But with blockchain gaming, it's definitely revolutionizing the traditional gaming industry by really making it possible for gamers now to earn, from playing games. A couple years ago, it was just you played a game. If you wanted to buy an in-game asset, you connected your debit card or credit card or bank account, whatever, and you purchased in-game assets, but you can never take those assets back out of the game. Your money then became a stream of revenue to that gaming company, and that money remained as theirs. Now with blockchain gaming, obviously, now you could take your money back out. You could sell those digital assets to other people and you could earn a profit. And by, devising the ecosystem in the way that we have, it's really created an ecosystem that's going to ultimately appeal to a large user base that, in time can grow to be very, very, very large, far beyond what, Axie Infinity's user base currently is.
Yeah, and I read a story recently about Vitalik.
I think I lost you again. I'm unable to hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Sorry about that. It seems to have some kind of connections issues today. So yeah, I was saying about Vitalik. I read online that he was playing World of Warcraft. He was hacked or something, but at that point he was thinking, and it was a motivator on how blockchain would be the future when you actually own your equipment in the games and all your assets.
That's
so
the huge difference right there.
Exactly. So yeah, I wanted to say that we've reached a great stopping point now. What you guys are building is amazing, and thank you, Blaze, Tokrul, Jehun, Mobin, and myself for being here today. I've allowed myself to post any kind of links to your social on the chat. I've also recorded this session, so we'll upload it on our YouTube, and we got a share for the community. For anyone that didn't have the chance to join today, it will be available online on our YouTube channel soon. Of course, I'll share the links. And I wanted to wish you best of luck, guys. And whoever wants to check you out, feel free to share your social again on our chat.
Yeah, we'll definitely drop those links within the chat. I do want to thank you guys from Coinscope. Thank you and your team for hosting us today. We also, on behalf of our team, definitely want to extend our thanks to all the participants today. We know you have a lot of things you could be doing right now. Instead, you chose to be here with us and listen to what we had to say. And for that, we are extremely grateful. Again, thank you all for participating, and we hope that everybody has a great weekend. Feel free to, join our Telegram chat. We'll drop the links again. If you have any questions that did not get answered today, you are more than welcome to ask them in our chat. You can DM us personally. We'll speak to you in private. Any questions you have, we'll be happy to answer. And again, thank you to everybody, and we hope that you have a great weekend.
Thank you to Blaze. Have a great weekend as well.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.